Yes, your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another Kicking It session, guys. I have DavinciJ15, legendary, the man, the myth, the legend. This guy popped up in my recent YouTube suggested video feed maybe about 2 weeks ago, out of nowhere. Never heard of this guy. And, you know, I'm seeing videos from like 4 or 5 years ago talking about Bitcoin. So I'm like, oh, God, what is this about? So great to have you. A lot of people in my social media followers have been asking us to get together and chat. And so, man, glad to have you on. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, Crypto Blood, man. It's kind of overwhelming. I mean, I've been talking about cryptos, gold, and silver for quite some time. And nobody wanted to hear about it for quite some time, right? So
did you do some type of like hack to get your videos to just pop up? Because I swear it happened. Everyone in my circle said, dude, have you heard about this? Like, even people who are part of my trading group, they're like, have you heard of this DavinciJ guy? I'm like, no, he just popped up out of nowhere. So what happened? Do you know?
Yes, I do actually. If you, I'll provide you the link, but basically 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I got back from Miami and a friend of mine said, hey, DaVinci, do you know that everybody on Reddit is starting to talk about you, saying that this guy, you know, he's been right about everything, even 9/11 and stuff like that.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, I had to set the record straight on what was correct, what was not correct, because like they were treating me like some oracle.
Right.
And it was just ridiculous. But the
internet will do that to you.
But watching my videos like crazy, my old videos like crazy, because of that Reddit post, and then I just took off from there, started doing interviews, and man, like I just can't believe I have 50,000 subscribers. And
what did you start? Like how many did you have prior to this whole Reddit thing
I started with I had like 8,000. Actually, my height was like 12,000, but since I started talking about crypto, it started going down.
Really?
So yes.
Okay.
And people were like, posting negatives on dislikes on my videos for quite some time. That's why nobody saw me, right? Post talking about crypto for quite some time, and that's the reason why I was like a nobody for a very, very long time.
Well, you're now the man in crypto, so everyone's after you. Like I said, I don't really, I don't go after people to do interviews. It just happens organically. I think Dog Barker on Twitter, added both of us, and then you responded. And I'm like, hey, since he responded, let's see what we can do here. So tell us about your background, like professionally. Are you a tech guy? Are you, kind of give me some background, because to me, I ask people that are in crypto, really people who, because you've been in crypto, since 2010? So
actually 2011.
2011. So very early. I got in 2013, but it's a special type of person to actually gravitate toward crypto. I believe you've got to have some knowledge of financial markets, what's wrong with them. You got to have a little tech savvy, you got to be technical as well. So kind of give me your background and we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, well, I've been a software developer since I was 11 years old.
Okay.
My first computer was a VIC-20 with 5K of RAM. Now imagine that. That's like an email, right? It would wipe that thing out.
Yeah.
And I remember upgrading to Commodore 64, and that had 64K of RAM, and I thought, bottomless.
Man.
And today, of course, we got computers with 32 gigs of RAM and stuff like that. Now, I've been programming since I was a kid. I mostly made programs for myself because I didn't know how to sell them. I just built like little programs here and there. I made some big games for myself. I made a text editor, right? Mm-hmm. That was basically in DOS. Mm-hmm. And I've been always programming my entire life, basically. And then I got a job at Lors Technologies, and I've been working at Lors. I was working at Lors for 17 years. I was actually the person who wrote the program File Nexus. I'm sure they're not going to like that, but it's the truth.
You're an entrepreneur, they will call you. You know,
Yes.
they take all your ideas and you profit none. Yep.
Exactly. They've made millions from that software because I wasn't part owner on that. But anyways, I got into crypto and gold and silver, and things started doing well. And I wanted to leave. I always wanted to leave Canada because like taxes are like 50%. So I decided to leave, and that's just one of the many reasons why I left. But that's the only reason I'm willing to discuss right now on this show. And I decided to live in Chile. And the reason why I decided to live in Chile is because Chile obviously lower taxes than Canada, and it's basically an area that no matter what happens around the world, everybody forgets about Chile, and Chile continues to move on, not realizing any kind of economic disruption, wars, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's and then they're a growing society. Things have improved monumentally even since I got here. Before I was the only black guy around,
Right.
and people were like high fiving. Black guys were high fiving me. Hey man,
That's crazy.
if I saw one or two, right, and people would even ask me to stop me on the street for a photo, right.
I need to move there. Black people are famous. I need to move there then. If I can get love like that walking down the street,
exactly.
that's crazy.
It's opposite to North America, where you walk into a store and they suspect the other guy of stealing, not you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Yeah, I was talking to some buddies of mine, and we're educated black men, and the microaggression that we deal with on a daily basis is crazy. So that's interesting to hear that about how Chile and the culture is down there. Chile also has, correct me if I'm wrong, but Chile has a pretty good natural resource industry as well. Is it oil? Right?
Actually, it's copper.
Copper. Okay.
Industry. But they have lots of natural minerals, and there are lots of mining here, gold mining and so forth.
Okay.
And they have lots of solar power since it's mostly desert here.
Okay. So you're down in Chile. You're I don't know if you follow my buddy. I've interviewed and followed Jim Willie for years. He's a little north of you. Yeah, man, a lot of Americans and North Americans period are just kind of leaving the countries of North America. Tell us about your introduction into cryptos. How did you find it? What was that day, that time? What happened?
Well, you know what? Before I go into that, I want to say that I do read a lot of Jim Willie stuff, and I think he's a great guy. I haven't read anything lately from him. I want to get back into it because I love reading his stuff. But anyways, going right along, I got into crypto back in March of 2011 because before then I was doing YouTube videos talking about gold and silver because I got into crypto because of my knowledge of the monetary system.
Yes.
And the reason I got into how I got into the knowledge of the monetary system was back in 2008. I was pretty much a socialist, and then I watched this interview of this what was it called? It was a debates. It was a presidential debates and Republican debates. I don't remember exactly, but I saw this one guy named Ron Paul.
Yes.
Said that our financial system is a fraud. It transfers wealth from the poor and the middle class to the rich. And I was like, what?
Yep.
That can't be. The government's not going to do that.
Right. That's what happened with me. I went down the rabbit hole in 2008 because the whole financial crisis. I saw we were doing TARP. I saw we were doing bailouts. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, how could we go from such a rosy picture to we're on the brink of death the next day? Like there's an illusion. There's a veil that's blocking the truth out there for the masses. And so that was how I kind of went down the rabbit hole myself. But yeah, continue. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Yeah, exactly. And actually, it was actually 2007 really that I got I heard the video, and I remember it was November 2007, and I was like then studying. Then I started studying what's it called, the monetary system. Looked up for books. I found this book called The Creature of Jekyll Island. Read that whole
Yes.
book.
G. Edward Griffin. Yeah, read that as well. Excellent book.
Yeah, that was a hard read, but man, it was worth the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I gained a lot of knowledge from that, a lot of insight of how our financial system works. And then I decided to go crazy about studying every single thing about the banking system, studying their balance sheet, everything. And then I saw what was about to happen in 2008, in September 2008. And I wish I'd done videos beforehand, so that I had some proof that I did know about that, but I wasn't into the video things. I was just watching other people's videos and doing my own research. And then I realized, oh my God, the whole banking system is about to collapse in September. And I actually took a week off. If you guys want, I'm sure if you call anybody at Loris Technologies that's still there, they'll tell you that they were laughing at me when I said, hey, the whole financial system is going to collapse. All the banks are going to collapse. And I'm just going to go home and watch it all. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Interesting. When you're contrary, you know, they laugh at you. You know, when you're contrary to popular belief, man, you get ridiculed. It's crazy. It's just crazy how humans work, man.
Yeah, actually, one person bet me $1, one loony, that was not going to happen, just as a fun bet, and he was like, "I guess I owe you $1."
Wow,
that was so funny.
So kind of give us your introduction to the crypto side. That kind of led up to, you know, you understanding what was really going on with this space, man, and the monetary system.
So basically, yeah, I started doing videos at the end of 2008 and talking about gold and silver because I wanted to let people know what was going on and how to save money for the future and prevent their financial system from robbing them. And the best way to do that is to not actually have a job, 9 to 5, is actually have a business that you get paid. And because your employer is not going to raise your salary as fast as inflation is. But if you're your own business, you can raise your income a lot faster with inflation than you could otherwise. And for some people, that's not an option. But if it's not, then the best way to deal with that is to save in gold and silver or any other asset that that you're going to be able to sell in the future right away. It could be art, it could be cars and stuff like that, fancy cars that that you've built up. It doesn't matter as long as you know that it can retain value.
Protect against inflation, right?
But don't save in the dollars. Don't save in the market because the market's just there to take your money.
Yes.
And so yeah, one person sent me a message saying, "Hey, DaVinci, what do you think about Bitcoin?" And immediately I said, "Scam." I'm a software developer. I know that no one has solved the double spend problem. Right. I'm going to prove to you that this is a scam. And so I started reading the white paper, looked at the source code, and I'm like, "Oh my God.
Damn, they did it."
They did it. Not only it's at the bottom of the market. It's like you're getting in at the very bottom practically.
Mm-hmm. Perfect timing.
I remember doing that video. Every once in a while, you come across something that will make you rich in the future because you just bought a little bit of it in the past. This is one of them. And thumbs down. Oh my God, what the hell are you talking about? You're crazy.
Yep. 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 I just had an interview on a podcast about 2 hours prior to doing this. And I was telling this guy, he's a pretty early adopter as well. And I was telling him it's so funny how, and I'm sure you can attest to this. Man, when I found out about Bitcoin, it was literally at night. It was like at 1 a.m. at night. I was reading Zero Hedge, and they did an article about this. I don't know how the hell I never saw a Bitcoin article on Zero Hedge before then, but that's when I found it. That's when I read it, and that night I went out and purchased. I used BitInstant to get in there and fund my account with Mt. Gox. But I told him this. I said, man, back then I couldn't give away Bitcoin. I literally would tell people about it, sit them down, help them understand the concept, and they didn't even want to take it. And it was so funny how it transitioned from them not even caring about it, didn't want to hear about it, to in 17 and last year, man, I got everyone coming at me asking me, hey, I remember you used to be at the cigar lounge telling everyone to buy Bitcoin. Can you hook me up? Can we sit down? I'm like, no, I don't have time. Yeah, like do your research. I tried to help you out 5 years ago. No, I'm sorry. You got to do it on your own now. But was that something that you kind of witnessed in the years?
Oh yes, definitely, definitely. For example, some of my really close friends, right? They pretty much ignored me and thought I was crazy. I remember this one guy, Stan. I told him about Bitcoin at $3, and he was like, "Yeah, I guess I'll get some, maybe, yeah." And then it went up to $5, and he's like, "Forget it, no." It went up too fast, too far.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, man. Oh my God.
And then he forgot about it until like 2013, and that's when he got in. I was like, "Oh my God, I made a mistake. I should have got it in."
Yeah. Crazy, man. But you know who publicly is the worst? And he's a smart guy. I watch him whenever he does a podcast, I watch this guy. Peter Schiff. This guy has known about Bitcoin, I think since $3, $4, something like that.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Now he's out here touting how Bitcoin, I told you guys, Bitcoin is going to crash. It's going to zero. It may have a little bounce, but it's still going to zero. I'm like, Peter, you're telling people if you would have bought at $3 or told your subscribers to buy just a little bit at $3, they would think you were a god. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't come on now in a bear market and say, look, it's going to zero, when the opportunity to make money thus far, I think it'll be more opportunity in the future, but the opportunity has been once in a lifetime, you know? So I just think Peter Schiff, man, he's
Peter Schiff all that time, and I listened to every show that he did back then, and I still do. And he was bashing Bitcoins all the way up, all the way down, all the way up again, all the way down again.
Exactly.
It's like, you're not seeing what everybody else is seeing here.
No, but the thing is, it's called cognitive dissonance. He's smart, man. He's a smart guy, but he's got cognitive dissonance when it comes to this technology. And even in the I'm sure you saw the interview he did with Eric Voorhees, not interview, but the debate he had with Eric Voorhees. Yeah. He brought up some great points, but I think Eric answered and really came back at him with even better points.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, the debate was pretty solid. I find that he avoids saying stupid things on debates like Ponzi scheme and stuff like that, because that will just make you lost the debate, right? Because then you don't know what a Ponzi scheme is, right?
Right.
It requires
more money,
somebody to invest in it and say that they're going to pay you in return.
Yes.
There is no promise of return with Bitcoin.
It's a digital asset, right? It's not necessarily yielding anything, but it's mirroring just like what he's pushing, gold. It's the digital form of gold. It's gold 2.0. which is better, right? Anything 2.0 means and insinuates that it's better than 1.0. So, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, man. So I hope, I don't know. Do you think he'll ever admit it? I don't think so, man.
No, 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 because Tolstoy once said that he's known people who are very smart, very intelligent, and they are very proud of what they know and what they've taught others. But when you try to explain something very basic and obvious to them, they're unable to see it because it goes against what they've already taught other people, and they can never change.
And it's going to be very hard for him because he's very successful with what he knows and what he's taught. He's a very successful guy.
Exactly. And so
Um,
that's what makes it impossible for him to ever see
right.
what Bitcoin is, and it's kind of sad. I mean, I hope I never get like that. Oh my God, it's kind of scary, right?
I tried,
That's
yeah, I tried to always question everything, challenge even my own understandings about things to try to keep myself out of that. It's hard, but that's the only way you can do it is to always question everything and be open to debate. I love debating. I love having debates with individuals, not arguments, but debates, because it helps point out some things that in my thought process that may be lacking. So,
exactly, exactly. Yeah, I'm willing to debate anything because I want to know the truth, and that's the only way to come to the truth is that you hear somebody else's points and you hear another side's points, and then you make up your own mind basically because you know you have to based on what you already know, right? And sometimes you'll make the wrong decisions, and sometimes and some hopefully you make the right one, right?
yeah,
But that's the
absolutely.
way. That's why we have debates and we discuss things in order to figure out which way is the best way to go.
Yeah, because if no debate happens, you have an echo chamber, and
Exactly.
and you look like Peter Schiff. So let's talk about early days of Bitcoin, man. I don't get a chance to talk to people. First of all, I don't think I've ever interviewed anyone. Oh no, Brock Pierce is not. I don't think he got in. He just got in with a lot of money. But I don't think I've talked to anyone who has been in cryptos longer than I have. So I love picking people's brains and really seeing. So tell me today, contrast Bitcoin today, cryptocurrency today, to when you got into the space in 2011.
Well, obviously there was not many things you can buy. I remember you could only buy like there was one store that was selling alpaca socks and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you couldn't get Amazon gift certificates, and there was just mostly the dark web that was using it with
Right,
Silk Road. That was
right.
the actual had the most transactions was Silk Road back in 2011 into 2012, and it was mostly criminals because it was there's a new thing that was actually working and it was
Mm-hmm.
secure and accomplished what anybody would use is for money. They could store wealth, they could transfer it anywhere in the world, and purchase goods without the banking system knowing and the government knowing. And so it works exactly like cash. So it was obvious this was like a internet money that people could use, for me at least. But back in the days, I remember people would make fun of me, calling it shitcoin and
Mm-hmm.
calling it Magic the Gathering
Yeah.
uh, money because Mt.
Mount
Gox
Gox.
was Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, sure was. Sure was. I don't know if people know that, but if you don't, Mount Gox used to be a place where you traded cards, right?
Yeah, the Magic the Gathering cards,
Yeah.
yes. So I was constantly made fun of, like non-stop in those days, and I just rolled with it. I would sometimes make jokes with people saying, "Oh, here's a Bitcoin, magic Bitcoin," and place some nothing into their hand, basically, because that's how they felt it was, and I knew it was some more than something. But you know what? I'm not. I don't want to. I didn't want to like get on people's nerves if they already had made up their mind you know what, you're just gonna have fun with them and do your thing and move on, right?
Yeah.
And basically, I believe in one thing. Whenever I have an argument with people against gold, silver, and Bitcoin, because I had a lot of arguments with gold. I used to say, listen, you know what? At the end of the day, I've chosen gold and silver as my money, and now I've also chosen Bitcoin. And I could be wrong, but you know what? Let's let reality be our final arbiter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Only time will tell. Yeah, just let time reveal. And so far it has revealed that Bitcoin and gold and silver are still money, you know. So do you think, I'm gonna put you on the spot here with this one here. You're early adopter, you've read the white paper. Is Bitcoin what back then, is it still that today? The
No,
original? Okay, so explain, because I agree.
no, it's it's now it's no longer a cash system, which what Satoshi really wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was still around, he would probably be a little bit upset at the Lightning Network.
Yes.
Um, I think there should have been another option for scaling. I think they should have like come up with something. If they didn't agree with increasing the block size, I agree with the issues with increasing the block size. But I was just doing some paper math with my brother just the other night, and let's just say you wanted to get up to 30,000 transactions per second, like
Visa or
what's it
whatever.
called, Visa
Yeah.
and Mastercard.
Mm-hmm.
You would need block size of 2 gigabytes, just over 2 gigabytes, in order to do that. So what is that? Your transfer rate? Our current transfer, our highest transfer rate is 1 gigabyte per second across the internet
Mm-hmm.
in general. I mean, there's higher, but in general is 1 gigabit. People, I know my home is almost at 1 gigabit.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada, everybody has 1 gigabit.
Yeah.
And so what's the transfer rate of 1 gigabit? It's 100 megabytes per second. So that 2 gigabyte file, 2 gigabyte, what's it called, block, would take about 20 seconds
Mm-hmm.
to download onto your system.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. That's a lot, but it's still doable. You understand?
Yeah.
It's a lot, but then it's not just that. It's not just that, because you have to upload that 2 gigabyte file to everybody else, to all the rest of your neighbors.
Yeah.
So you could say you could probably end up transferring additional, I don't know, 5 times more in per block. And I get it. That when you think about it, those are very large numbers,
They are.
especially if that's happening every 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But we're forgetting that the internet's not staying still. Unlike the block size, the internet is not staying still. It's increasing exponentially the speed. It's not Moore's law speed. It's not the speed of Moore's law, but it's a decent. It's moving.
And
Hey,
if we can get this here quantum computer systems going where we have non-locality communication, it'll all be instant at some point, right? So that would definitely eliminate that bottleneck, that part of the issue with speed.
yeah, I don't think that's quantum computing though. There is another science behind that where we can actually change a molecule from another side of the world from here instantaneously. I remember reading about that somewhere, but I can't remember what the exact
Yeah,
details.
it
But
deals with quantum
yeah,
physics, but yeah.
that
It's
should
they're
come
working on
down.
it. They're working on it.
Yeah, exactly. So they've already done it. They proved it with a light
Yes,
source. They were able to change the light source on another side of the
I saw
world,
that. I saw that.
right? And so, I mean, can you imagine uh,
Instant
how
zero
fast?
ones. Yeah, I mean it'd be instant. It's crazy.
So, so to keep the block size fixed is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong, wrong, wrong.
Mm-hmm.
there should be like maybe a slow increase, an increase where you can go, okay, well, you know what? It's every 10 years, every 5 years. I don't know. We just work out the exact numbers on what that should be, based on
So,
the growth of the
so
system,
I
and then
yeah, I totally agree with you. So my next question is then the reason that the core group kept it at 1 megabyte was, do you think there was some nefarious reasons behind that? I personally think it was. I don't think it was just out of ignorance and them being stubborn. What do you
no,
think?
no, because software developers, they think in more complex terms, and more they try
Ahead.
to
Yeah, got to.
plan for every single thing, and they get confused about the basics. They ignore the basics, and they try to come up with some grand scheme, right? That's way better than anything but anybody else could have thought of. Not thinking, well, if you just did that,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
would work.
Right.
They want to do something bigger, right? If you just did this little thing, it worked. And I fall into that trap as a
Yeah.
developer all the time. As for example, I've written an in compression algorithm, and I wanted to get it so perfect that my employer just said, "Well, wait a minute. If you just do this little thing, right?" Because he pointed out what I was explaining what the problem was in the compression algorithm. It will solve what we need, and you don't need to solve the rest of the problems because it's
Mm-hmm.
just overkill.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I believe it was just they went into an overkill mode, and I'm concerned. I'm very concerned about the direction of Lightning Network. Very concerned.
Okay, so let's talk about that because I am too. Um, it kind of goes to your whole thing about trying to, solve every possibility. I feel like when you add additional layers, it just opens everything up to more vulnerabilities to the network and security. You're more of a technical person than I am. Kind of give me your concerns about the Lightning Network.
Well, that is true in a sense, but the Lightning Network code, the code behind Lightning Network is really good as far as I can tell. I haven't looked at everything, and I need to spend a lot of time on it because it's massive and very complex. But the thing is, it does work in a sense. All the back end works really well, and I'm like, great.
But is it
Now,
scalable though?
hold on. Let me finish. Uh, when you go to use it as a person who's using it, this is what you see. Forget all the what you've heard about, opening a channel and all that kind of crap. Screw it. That's for developers, right?
Yeah.
You want to know, okay, I've got 10 Bitcoins now, and I'm going to send Bob one, right? Okay, how do I send Bob one? Okay, Bob, can you send me an invoice so I can send you one Bitcoin? I'll send you an
Mm-hmm.
invoice, and you pay that invoice. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to, like, I gave Bob the one Bitcoin, and you know what? I want to give Bob a little bit more because I like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I got to call him up again in order to get another invoice. And it's not a surprise anymore if I wanted to surprise him because I don't have an account in order to send him the Bitcoins.
Right.
You see the problem there?
Yeah. Yeah. That's from exactly. That's from a front end perspective. Exactly. Not opening channels and stuff. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
That's how you use it as a front end user, as a front end direct user.
But then here's why I feel like there may be some nefarious kind of ulterior motive going on with the whole Lightning Network, because then they'll say, well, just you can route it through this central hub that some of the bigger guys will have, where you can route things through to other individuals. Wouldn't that be a possibility?
Though the hubs, you could work. The hubs are just part of the background protocol. Don't worry. You're trying. That's like trying to understand TCP/IP and figuring out exactly how your switches work, right? I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous for you to do that.
Yeah.
So forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how you use it on a day-to-day basis. On a day-to-day basis, you cannot send somebody else Bitcoins without notifying them to send you an invoice. That's critical. And so it does work in a sense, in a business sense. And because these guys were thinking, well, this is for businesses, so we're going to design it for businesses, not thinking about the average user.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to send Susie because Susie needs some money and she's in school and she's busy in class. She can't open up an invoice for me so I can pay it. I mean, you didn't think about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's a critical issue. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what are your thoughts, man? You're OG in the game. The altcoin sector. This is altcoin 2.0 for most people. They don't know that. Altcoin 1.0 was your feather coins, your name coins, your remember all of those?
Oh yes, I was I was a bit of a maximalist for quite some
Oh, you
time.
were. Okay. 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 So,
But then I liked Namecoin when I didn't like Litecoin, but I loved Namecoin when it came out, and so I mined the snot out of Namecoin,
good
and I
good
ended up
concept, right? Using DNS. Yeah.
on an exchange called Bit Parking because it collapsed when I went to trade it out because come on, $500,000, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I was like, no way. The guy lost all private keys. He had no backups, and I lost all my money.
God. Yeah, man. Back then, the pools were it, man. Those different pools, F2 pool. I used to mine all my mining for. I kind of got into the mining from Litecoin. So I started mining Litecoin at 55 cents, and man, that was a very lucrative thing. And I reinvested my money and bought more mining rigs or built more mining rigs. At that point, ASICs hadn't hit the scene yet in the altcoin game yet. But yeah, man. So with this altcoin 2.0, what do you think? Like a lot of those coins that we talked about, they're not even around anymore. And we thought they were going to be just it, man. I knew a guy that had like over $1 million in world coins, and he put it on a hard cold wallet and said he was going to forget about it and never touch it. So So what's gonna happen? I think, man, I'm telling you, the same thing is gonna happen this go around with the altcoin sector. But I think what's different this time is that we actually have some coins or tokens. The tokens, I think, may have a little bit more life in it. What do you think about the altcoin 2.0 game?
Well, I think that a lot of the cryptocurrencies are going to go close to zero. When it comes to CR2 coins, they'll probably have like very little value or no value because the CR20 ECR20. Oh, sorry.
ERC20,
uh,
yeah, yep.
yeah, ECR20 coins. Yes, those coins those tokens will probably be around for quite some time because because they have like the network behind them, and then
Mm-hmm.
obviously you just have to pay the gas amount to move them. But they could probably go to zero or close to it, and most of those tokens. And I would say that the majority of all the tokens will have little or no value. So please do not hodl
Right,
every
right,
single
right.
cryptocurrency that's out there. At least do yourself a favor. If you buy some and it doubles, sell half and maybe keep the rest. Okay,
There you
fine.
go.
Please get your money back. Please,
Yes,
just that. Do that for me, please.
yes.
Get your money back.
Yes, yes. I'm telling you, man, you got a lot of people, and I try to explain to them like that's like you being a Netscape maximalist or being all in on Netscape when it first came out. Like Netscape is nowhere to be found. This is how many of these because we're so early. We're still early. It's 10 years into this space. This is a new
Yes, sir.
asset class, a whole bunch of new things. It's a paradigm shift. So we're very, very early in this game with regards to crypto. So don't be married to any one coin. That's what I tell people as well. And as you stated, and I told people in 2017, I told them take profits all the way up. You don't know where the top is. Don't try to time the top because the people that actually get out at the top are just someone had to be the one at the top to get out. And they were just the ones. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
What?
So yeah, I mean, you should definitely sell and take profits, just like you said, because a lot of people have sent me emails saying, "Man, I had $12 million in at the top of Bitcoin, and now I only got a half a million, and I don't know what to do."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesus, now they're selling at the bottom, really,
Yes.
uh, close to it, and it's so sad, right? Because they didn't take profits when they had such a huge profit.
Yeah.
Like,
See,
hey, what do you?
it's called unrealized profits for a reason. they're un, they're not real. They're unreal. So they're not realized until you actually pull the trigger on that. What are your frustrations with the space right now, man? Again, kind of comparing, contrasting, the game and crypto years ago and what we have today, especially with the social media. It's a lot of traders that came up in 2017. They swear they were just like oracle gods with trading. Everyone's a trader now, so on and so forth. What are your thoughts about or frustrations, I should say, with the crypto space today?
The fraud. There's a lot of
Okay.
fraud in it. So when you get into an altcoin, expect it to be a fraudulent altcoin first
Mm-hmm.
and treat it as such. So that means it's probably gonna go to zero, and
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna sell half when it doubles. And if it doubles again, you sell half again.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you start taking profits, right? Because there's so much fraud in this space, and I don't like it when people come when the worst part of it is the one coins, the BitConnects, right?
I
Uh, you
tell people
know,
about that,
so
man.
bad because they go after old people, and they take all their money, and it's so sad,
It
so
is.
sad.
It is. It is. I warned people about that Big Connect stuff, man. Just saw it was going to be a disaster, and it did. It ended up imploding. Um, I'm just like I said, I personally just don't like the attitude of the individuals. We didn't really touch on this, but the attitude of the crypto individual today in this space is all about what's the next Bitcoin, when's the next moon, so on and so forth.
Exactly.
Instead of thinking about how are we going to ring fence ourselves against the next financial crisis that's going to come? How are we going to be a better system than the current banking system? Like those were the the things that, at least when I got into crypto, we talked about. How are we going to be separate from the government? How are we going to be self-sufficient? All that stuff was really kind of the primary thing, and making money was secondary. It's been totally flipped now. And so do you think the infiltration of Wall Street, the government trying to do these regulations, you've got companies. I always laugh when I see like PR lines or headlines about Google patent new blockchain technology, Cisco patents new, like patents in blockchain and open source are just like water and oil. They don't even mix. So
Exactly.
it cracks me up because I think people still don't have the full concept of what blockchain is.
Yeah, I mean, if you could create a blockchain. And blockchain existed before. Satoshi created it. It was just a method of creating code. It's an inefficient means of storing records.
Yeah.
It's very inefficient unless you're trying to decentralize the system.
Hmm.
And so by for example IBM and Google and banks using this blockchain and having a private blockchain system, basically what they've created is just database.
Database, right? Yeah.
A very inefficient database. As Andreas Antonopoulos would like to say, very inefficient database.
Yeah.
And and I agree with him because it's ridiculous to say, okay, well, my blockchain, well, it's we've secured internally, and like what? Just you know what? You could do the same thing in a database. You know that you don't have to put together a
Spin up a
blockchain where you can
MongoDB or
just
something
put,
like that and just
yeah, you
right.
can say that okay, the previous records let's add up to the last records and
Yeah.
use a, like a hash that
Right.
adds the whole thing up. Like, and is a way faster and more efficient.
Man. So what do you think about 2019, man? What is it going to be for cryptos, for Bitcoin? Do you think Wall Street is really going to go ahead and dip their toe in? I personally think they kind of got scared of 2018 and the violent moves in Bitcoin to the downside. They don't really like that. The institutional investors, you have a 15 you see how they're acting on CNBC right now. We're like what 19% away from all-time highs, and they're just like the world is ending. So what do you think 2019 brings, both institutionally and kind of in the private sector?
Well, institutional investors made their run up in 2017 and profited from that run up
Mm-hmm.
all the way down because this is you could see it because CNBC was like practically Bitcoin CNBC, like
Yeah, it
nonstop.
was. It was. Yeah.
So they were pushing this thing all the way up and all the way back down, and they're the biggest beneficiaries right now, and they are going to use this system to profit from it going forward. So they're not gone, and they'll say you can see I can see in 2019 there's going to be some positive news, there's going to be some bad news. I'm kind of feeling that if they can't push Bitcoin down, they are going to take out Tether. They're going to call Tether. They're going to get the government to say, "Hey, Tether is what's it called? What's it called? Oh man, counterfeiting,
Mm-hmm.
counterfeiting the U.S. dollar,
Mm-hmm.
and or is money laundering, and they're done."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm
And they're
surprised it
done.
hasn't happened yet. That type of angle and attack toward Tether. I'm surprised that the U.S.
Yeah.
government hasn't done that yet. To be honest with you.
And then Bitcoin will collapse
Mm-hmm.
in a final blaze of glory to its ultimate bottom, and then that's the capitulation bottom that we're waiting
Mm-hmm.
for,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the time to buy.
Mm. So what do you have a price on your capitulation moment for Bitcoin?
It's a guess. It's a big
Of
guess,
course, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
and I've seen some. I can put together some charts on that, but it's around $1,000. I would say anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500 is where
So
the
are you here? Do you follow that
mine.
whole hyperwave thing? That's I think what the hyperwave model is saying, 1,500, 1,000. But I'm telling you, man,
Yeah.
we go below 3,000, man, that's gonna be a problem, in my opinion.
No, no, it's not. Why is it a problem?
Because like I don't think if we go to 1,000, that will be the biggest retracement in Bitcoin's history, right? Percentage wise,
Yep. Yes,
within
it
that,
is.
and that would be without like the biggest one was from a technical issue with Bitcoin. There was an actual bug that made everyone panic, and you could double spin and all that. That was I think 96%. So if we see that type of percentage loss, I'm thinking like there's something wrong. What's going on here? You know what I mean? That's how I'm looking at it. I think
No,
3K is a floor in my opinion.
no. You're thinking that Bitcoin's going to go down to 1,000 and stay there. No, 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 no. And if it does get down there, it's only going to be less than a day, like an hour. It's going to be an hour or two.
Okay,
and then
so
it's going to
a
be
true
over to
capitulation.
now.
I got you. I got you. Cool, man. So hey, I think this was a good meeting. I definitely hope to have you on again. We're gonna have to talk more about just precious metals. I was a big believer and still am a big believer of precious metals, but I think that COMEX and how the price suppression is going with that plays a role as far as from an investment vehicle may not be as attractive as I think Bitcoin may be for the years to come. But definitely, man. Any final words? You have any? I think you have a wallet or something, correct?
Yes, actually, I have a wallet called Pandora's Wallet that I'm working on, and I also have a company called DavinciCode.net, and there you can find some videos on how to trade Brian's little old lady style. Those videos are free. They'll show you how to trade altcoins so that you don't have to lose money when you trade altcoins. Basically, it's a really simple system where you buy low and you sell half on a double to make a lot of money. And I made a ton of money doing that. And you can too. Now, if you really want to learn how to trade like a pro on a daily basis, check out therationalinvestors.com. Right, I'll be providing a link so you can get $50 off of the classes, and Brian will take care of you. Trust me, he taught me everything that I know. And if you want to help us with the beta testing of our wallet, check out www.pandoraswallet.com, and there we are beta testing our wallet. It's we have a lot of problems, and we are fixing them, and now they are getting fixed. Very shortly, we'll have a lot more coins and solve all the issues that the wallet has. So if you want to help us out, head over to that website, www.pandoraswallet.com. Thanks.
And I'll definitely have to have you back on about trading too, man, because I've been trading for 12 years now. So we'll have something to talk about. So again, DavinciJ15, the man, the myth, the legend. Another episode of Kicking It Session with Crypto Blood. And I'm out of here, people. Peace.